Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier today, Professor Makau Mutua made some interesting tweet on his official Twitter handle. Let me just read for you what Professor Makau Mutua posted. The Azimio la Umoja One Kenya deed of agreement provides for deputy party leader, but one was never chosen or designated. The position is vacant, nor is there any provision that Azimio running mate in 2022 election would be deputy party leader. Just saying, stop legal paganism. In my view, Professor Makau Mutua was addressing Karua. Because remember earlier this week, Karua was interviewed by the Daily Nation. And Karua was very clear that in the absence of Raila Odinga, she is the automatic party leader by virtue of being Raila Odinga's running mate. And in his tweet, Professor Makau Mutua is addressing those two issues. For me, the tweet is significant because of two or three main reasons. Number one, Professor Makau Mutua was Raila Odinga's spokesperson during the last election. I think he's still Raila Odinga's spokesperson. And therefore, any comment touching on Azimio, in my view, I know Professor Makau Mutua can sometimes be very reckless and careless, but any comment touching on Azimio is automatically interpreted to mean the position of Raila Odinga. Remember, this is also the same man who was the head of Azimio think tank in the last election. Number two, Professor Makau Mutua was actually the custodian of that deed of agreement. And I remember during when Kalonzo wanted to leave NASA, Professor Makau Mutua had to remind him the content of that deed of agreement. The fact that Makau Mutua, who was one of the custodian of this deed of agreement, is responding to Karua simply means that probably he must be taken seriously. And of course, we also know, number three, that Professor Makau Mutua is a Kamba, and probably he's voting for Raila, he's voting for Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, or expressing indirectly the position of Raila Amolo Odinga. Let us go back to this tweet again so that we can understand some things before we venture into what we want to do in this analysis. Professor Makau Mutua is saying very clearly that the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya deed of agreement provides for deputy party leader, which means Karua is very clear and right that there is the position of deputy party leader. That one is granted. But Makau Mutua is reminding Karua that the position is vacant. No one was chosen or designated. So it means Azimio, in their own wisdom, decided to create the party leader, which was given to Raila. And then there was the position of the deputy party leader, which was left vacant. And the question is, why do you think Azimio, or Raila Odinga for that matter, decided to leave that position vacant? Probably because of several factors. Maybe it was going to be very difficult to pick someone as the deputy party leader. And of course, by picking deputy party leader at that particular time was going to mean that that deputy party leader was going to be the automatic running mate. Remember, Raila Odinga was declared the Azimio leader, and then the presidential candidate, and then now Raila had to choose who was going to be his running mate. So in a situation where they were going to have a deputy party leader, let's say Kalonzo, and Raila Odinga was going for Karua, political quagmire at that time. So I think they wanted to avoid that. And this tweet is also proceeding somewhere here. Nor is there any provision that Azimio's running mate in 2022 elections would be deputy party leader. Now that is directly responding to Karua, who had claimed that by virtue of being Raila Odinga's running mate, she was the automatic deputy party leader. So in this video, I want us to do a critical analysis, my understanding of that tweet, because for me that tweet is significant. But before you do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Today, we just hit the magical 250,000 subscribers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy. I'm so excited for the support which you guys have always given this channel from the day I remember when we began. Sometimes I watch those old videos. I cannot really believe that we have reached this level. In fact, at some point, I even thought of stopping whatever I was doing, because sometimes I would do things in not in a very professional way. Sometimes you would correct me here and there. But I know there are some individuals on this platform who started the journey with us and they are still here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know you are one such kind of individual, just know from the bottom of my heart, I'm really thankful and grateful. And now we are beginning the journey to 500,000. I just want us to go step by step. So if you're not subscribed, please, I know so many people are also watching the videos, but they're not yet subscribed. If you're not yet subscribed, please just press that subscribe button so that you are not left out. Ladies and gentlemen, let us dive in again. Before we dive in, allow me to thank in a special way the following people for the coffee which they sent to me earlier today. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. It goes a long way in supporting this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think Professor Makau Mutua was trying to communicate in your own way or in your own view? For me, number one, if you ask me, Professor Makau Mutua was addressing the issue of Raila Odinga's succession politics. Who is going to be the next Azimio presidential candidate? Because by virtue of Karua being the deputy party leader for that matter, it means if Raila Odinga were to leave, she was going to automatically become the party leader. And by becoming the party leader, then how would you then remove Karua from being the presidential candidate? And that is what Professor Makau Mutua is making very clear. That as far as Azimio Lamoja One Kenya deed of agreement is concerned, there was no dispute. Which means if Raila Odinga were to leave today, what we should be discussing is who is going to be the next Azimio leader. And you can't claim that position because you are not a deputy. Nobody was chosen. So probably Azimio will have to go back to the drawing board and on a table and agree, right? That it is going to be Kalonzo, it is going to be Karua. They'll have to agree. So that is something which, in my view, Professor Makau Mutua was trying to tell Martha Karua. Number two, it's about the 2027 politics. We have three individuals here. Kalonzo Musyoka is running for the presidency. And of course, he will be on the ballot. I can see Kalonzo Musyoka is already settling on Eugene Wamalwa. Though I strongly believe that Eugene Wamalwa is facing serious challenge from the Trans Nzoia governor, George Natembeya. And also, there is Martha Karua. Martha Karua will also be running for the presidency, in my view. And if Martha Karua will not be running, one thing I know, there is no way you can have Kalonzo as a presidential candidate and Martha Karua as a running mate. They'll have to go their separate ways. And also, there are those who also believe that Raila Odinga might still be on the ballot again. You can't also rule out the possibility that Raila Odinga is going to AU, serve for like 2 or 3 years, then organize a big homecoming, Baba, while you are away, and he will be received with a mammoth crowd at the airport. Then that convoy will snake its way to Uhuru Park. Uhuru Park nowadays is close, maybe to Nyayo Stadium or somewhere else, or Jacaranda, somewhere. Then from Jacaranda, Raila convoy will head to Mombasa. From Mombasa, it will head to Kisumu. From Kisumu, all over the country. Then the momentum for 2027. I still don't want to rule out the possibility that Raila Odinga might still be on the ballot. So by Professor Makau Mutua making that clarification, in my understanding, is that Raila Odinga is still the Azimio leader. There is no running mate. There's no deputy party leader. And of course, he's also communicating to Martha Karua that you are not the automatic presidential candidate. Because if Martha Karua is claiming that she'll be the deputy party leader because she was the running mate, now if Raila is not there, it will automatically mean she's the running mate and also the party leader. So Professor Mutua is making that very clearly. Number 3, I also tend to think that it's all about the power struggle in Azimio. The fact is, with the departure of Raila Odinga, just like I stated before, vacancies were created, both in ODM party, in Azimio, and of course in Nyanza. In Nyanza, who is going to succeed Raila Odinga as the next looking pin? That's a question which is yet to be addressed. In ODM party, who is going to be ODM party leader? Of course, Raila Odinga told the supporters that he's going to leave the party in the hands of Hassan Joho and Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya. That is addressed up to that level. Then at the Azimio level, Raila Odinga is the party leader. If he will succeed, then he will leave that seat. Who is going to take over? That is what Professor Makau Mutua is telling Martha Karua here, that you're not going to be the automatic choice. That's very straightforward statement. And lastly, I'm also seeing Raila Odinga factor in the statement by Professor Mutua. And I'm trying to conclude that probably by design, Raila Odinga ensured that the position of the deputy party leader or of Azimio leader was not created, was not failed. It was created, but it was left vacant. Why do you think it was never failed up to this stage? People signed, deed of agreement is what was signed. People signed. But the position of the party leader was signed. That of the deputy was never signed. Why? In my view, I think Raila Odinga strategically left it out for him to play around his politics. But I don't want to say much up to that stage. In case you're watching the channel for the first time, please, again, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.